Hey, Allie students. My name's Randall McGlenn. I'm a King's College graduate. Graduated back in 2009 with my degree in computer science. Allie asked me to put together this little presentation, talk about what I do, how it pertains to what you're learning. Right now, I am a software developer at Kydex, a company based out of Bloomsburg. They're a plastic production company. Before that, though, I worked with Allie at Tobyhanna Army Depot, doing various GIS projects. If you know anything about GIS, it's very database driven, and I would bring a lot of that information out onto a web interface, not necessarily the internet, but bringing it onto the intranet for that network. So a lot of the work I did was web based, working with databases. From what I understand, databases are what you are working with. You're learning about right now, and there's a good reason for that, and it's because databases are very prevalent now, especially when with things like Google or Facebook, all database driven. Without the database, you would not have that at all. Um, and that's what I'm doing right now at Kydex is web-based interface, database, getting all the information out there for everyone to use. Whether it's the president of the company or it's the guy out in production putting together the plastic sheets. It's for everyone to use, and the whole point of it is to make their jobs easier, more efficient, more streamlined, and just to ultimately be more profitable. And that's the whole point of a database, is to get information and to make it easily accessible. And they're great because they're very fast, efficient. That's what they're designed for. So databases are great. Um, but aside from databases and web-based applications, what you're doing right now is very important. You're learning, and the learning does not stop once you graduate. You continue to learn, and it really doesn't matter what field you're in. It doesn't have to be computers. Whether you're in the medical field, business, chemistry, it doesn't really matter. You learn from when you decide to start learning to when you retire, or some people continue to learn after that. So yeah, I personally use a lot of forums. People are very helpful. It's amazing how many people are willing to give you their knowledge. It doesn't have to be a forum, of course. There are lots of tutorials out there, lots of blogs, all great information, and it's a lot of it is free. Most of it, in fact, is free. There are things you can pay for if you're interested in, but the information's free, and that's what I do, and that's how I did all of my learning outside of King's. Um, you know, and the best way to learn is to just give yourself projects. You don't have to have a job with a company to program. You can, if there's something you're interested in, make a website for it. You can, and then you learn from there. That's how I learned a lot of the web-based things that I'm doing right now. Is I decided, I'd like to make a website. So I started learning HTML. I started learning CSS, JavaScript. And you get to server-side stuff. I went with C#. That's just my preference. You can go with whatever you like, whether it's VB, PHP. There are tons out there. So use whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever makes sense to you. They all do pretty much the same thing, and they're all pretty much as efficient. It really comes down to syntax. So whatever you're most comfortable with, and that's real important, is the experience, because if you're looking for a job, the employer is going to want to know what your experiences are. So you know it's difficult, especially now. It's getting tougher and tougher to get a job. So give yourself these little projects. Um, get the experience up there. So you didn't say that you worked for this big multi-billion dollar company or whatever, uh, but you at least have the experience, because especially with computers is if you can do a small project, you can do a big project. It's all just scaling it up, and for the most part, it's pretty easy, especially in the web, because like if you create a web page that does one thing, that same web page can do can display that information for a million different items in a database or whatever. So continue to learn, continue to do projects for yourself, for others. Even if it's something that you don't think really needs to be automated through programming, do it anyway. It's just it's a learning experience. It's just meant to make you a better programmer. Um, so hopefully this was helpful for you. Good luck with what you're doing. And, just hopefully everything works out for you with your uh, future in computer science. All right. Goodbye and good luck. Godspeed.